If you're looking to improve your score in Chapter 3 of the Mines of Moria raid, the first place to look is your Elf Squad. A reasonably developed Lord Elrond team with a very free-to-play accessible Lord Balin will get you a consistent 750k to 900k every raid. In today's video, I'm showcasing two Elfrons. The basic team composition will be Lord Elrond, Elrohir, Elladan, and Arwen. First up, we have a run with Naramiri as the fifth to demonstrate for those who do not have Lord Balin that there are still other ways to achieve 900k. Second, you will see the Lord Balin 900k run, and I'll talk you through some of the things that made the run possible, as well as some of the things that should have derailed me and caused a reset. You're not going to like hearing this, but I've found that with all of my teams, that scoring more than 300k in this chapter requires a very specific set of win conditions. You will reset a lot, but once you learn what to look out for, you'll save yourself a lot of time by knowing when to reset and which abilities to hold or use. One major tip on the initial setup is to place Arwen in the front middle. For whatever reason, if no one is marked, the AI likes to target the slot, so you'll give yourself a better chance at a good initial setup, and also ensure that Arwen is targeted more often during the fight so she can grant herself immunity. Everything about this fight revolves around Arwen's Special 2, which cleanses Banes and grants the immunity boon. In the opener, I'm looking for the orcs to target Arwen. If they don't, I reset. Arwen then needs to use her cleanse turn 1 to gain immunity. Do not use Elladan's special abilities to provoke. You want them to hit Arwen until the immunity buff expires. Lord Elrond does have a chance to extend boons, but it rarely happens to hit the immunity. You should get your score to 160k to 190k from the initial immunity on Arwen. From there, it's about controlling who gets captured and trying to remove as many stacks as possible. As you can see, Naramiri is viable in the fight, but she also works very well with Rohan Trio and Halbrand, so the best fifth to help smooth out the RNG is Lord Balin. I would argue that he is the single most important plug-and-play character for Chapter 3. He has a cleanse on his basic, and his Special 2 will cleanse multiple Banes. Moving to Phase 2, as soon as Arwen's immunity boon expires or she comes very close to dying, you need to provoke with Elladan to peel the capture. At this point, you're trying to prioritize killing Skull Crushers, Manglers, and Drummers. You want to leave the War Guards, Firestarters, and Shadow Seers on the board, as they won't manipulate turn meter or destroy you as quickly as the others. Ideally, you're able to whittle down a few orcs and AoE with Elladan to drop stacks. You're trying to get Arwen's cleanse back up again before anyone dies, but typically you will lose Elladan here. If you know you're about to lose Elladan, don't use Elrond's heal. In other words, if there are more than 3 stacks of capture on Elladan, do not heal. Keep controlling the stacks until Arwen's cleanses back up and use it to grant immunity. You'll end up repeating this twice, sometimes 3 times to get the 900k. During my Lord Balin run, I racked up 199k before Arwen's first immunity expired, and that was honestly the perfect setup. Usually I'm getting somewhere around 150 to 160k, so the stars really aligned here. As the fight progresses, you'll want to basic with Lord Balin as much as possible when the Special 2 cleanse isn't up. Around 278k, we ended up healing because Elladan had less than 4 capture stacks, and also the orcs had slow. Around 311k, Skullcrusher had been given stamina from one of the drummers and was able to get his AoE slow off. That can tank a run, and this one was very precarious because of it. I almost reset. But I started trying to DPS the drummers down, and I was just praying that more Firestarters, tanks, and Shadow Seers would appear. Miraculously, the RNG gods favored me, and we had 3 Firestarters up at the end of this fight. At about 375k, we lost our boy Elladan, and Elrond was 1 turn away from his revive. I killed one of the drummers with Elrohir to stop it from to stop it from taking its turn. Little things like that can save you. At this point, Arwen's cleanse was 1 turn away as well, so the presumption was that the run was over. I've learned, though, that you try to play some of these out. I used Arwen's special 1 to generate turn meter, and you just have to hope at this point she survives. She had 9 stacks, Balin cleansed her, and she took a turn to cleanse herself and grant the immunity to save the run. Notice that even though Arwen had immunity, I did have to peel away the capture because she almost died. It was not ideal, but you have to value keeping team members alive. From there, I kept managing the board by removing the drummers. At 575k, we had 3 fire starters and 2 war guards on the board. I did debate using Balin's special 1 around this time because I only needed 730k on this run to get a Gandalf shard, and the evades would have given me a few extra points. I ultimately chose to basic to remove a capture stack, and I think it was the right call. Another thing worth mentioning related to Elrond here is you want to be strategic about a special 1. Try to use it when you know you can set up a kill the next turn with the Might and his special 2. Around the 760k mark, the orcs had targeted Elrond with capture. I revived and got Eldon back instead of Arwen, which again probably saved the run. Then I used Balin's basic, which took a stack of capture off of Elrond. Eldon was able to take his turn when Elrond had 9 stacks, so Balin's basic was another lifesaver here. From there, 900k was imminent. I used Balin's special 1 for the evade just to secure the bag. I want this video to demonstrate that you do not have to spend tons of money to get solid raid scores, but the trade-off is you will spend some time having to learn the fights. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like it, you should click the like button and subscribe. I've also started creating baseball card style infographics for every character in the game, and those will start including glyphs from this point forward. You can find those as well as my free-to-play farming guide for free on my Discord server. Quantum out.